Racing Series returns to ETV Live on Tuesday nights following the Fast Track Racing Series radio show. After organizing a highly successful team series in 2010, Jerry Wolf is back with some kick butt, take no prisoners, team racing action like you have never seen before. The ATV Live Team Racing Series is sponsored by HD Radio Network live on Tuesday nights from 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't wimp out, dude. Catch the action live at etv-eplay.net.
Hello there, and welcome to the ETV Live Team Series presented by the HD Radio Network, the leader in sim broadcasting. Today we switch our focus over to the Phoenix International.
Some technical difficulties right now on the mic for Kyle Peddle, but as he was saying, we are here at the Phoenix International Raceway for round 11, I believe is the correct race for the night. Round 11 out of 12, so we are at our penultimate round here in the ETV Live Team Series. It's starting to wrap things up, and going to be a very exciting one to wrap it up in. The 1 mile speedway, very flat speedway, should be a great race.
Without a doubt, and if you're wondering who's in the booth, once again, it's going to be the Kyle and Kyle show. Myself, Kyle Peddle, alongside Kyle Young. Like I was saying, we switched our focus from Texas Motor Speedway over to Phoenix International Raceway. So we're going to do a quick update on the point standings right now. After last week, sorry we did not have a broadcast. We had some electronic problems with John, so we couldn't get that going for you. But looking at the updated points now after Texas, Super Speedway Cup Series is leading the way at 137 points, and only 5 points behind them, or I think this is actually from the finished results of last week at Texas for the team. So sorry about that. We're going to quickly change focuses. That's actually the Texas results from last week. Super Speedway Cup won at 137 points. Second was the Full Throttle Cup Series. They had 132 points. Third was the Halls on Post team. They had 113. Fourth was Asphalt Assault at 113. ETV Live was fifth at 97. Crossed Up Motorsports was 87. And with only Mark Bratcher on Hollywood Motorsports, they came home with 32 points. And now we're going to send it to Kyle Young, who has the championship results right now.
Indeed I do, Kyle. Heading into the penultimate round here tonight at Phoenix International Raceway. It is the Super Speedway Cup team heading in with the championship points lead. They have a marginal 17-point lead over the Asphalt Assault team, sitting in third place right now. Still in it, but got a little bit of work to do. The Halls on Post guys, 37 points out. Behind them in fourth place, 62 points behind, is the Full Throttle team. Crossed Out Motorsports rounding out the top 5, 133 points out. ETV Live, 299 points out in 6th, and the Hollywood Motorsports team 7th place, 471 points out of the lead. So looking at it, we got definitely 3 teams who have a chance to win this championship. On an outside shot, possibly 4 if the Full Throttle team can put up some big numbers either tonight or next week.
Oh, for sure, and plus 2, Phoenix can be a crapshoot sometimes. It's short track racing, so temperatures are definitely going to be flaring tonight for 115 laps around this 1 mile track. So you're going to see them trying to move each other out of the way, try to set themselves up for the end of the race to get max team points. As right now the cars are on track qualifying, a little bit different to this week. We're only going to have 5 minutes for qualifying instead of our normal 10 minutes.
A little bit shorter time for these guys, but still the normal 2-lap qualifier. So still have the normal distance, just a shorter amount of time to do it in. And speaking of a short amount of time, 115 laps at a 1 mile track really isn't that long of a race if things go smoothly. So you know, these guys need to make sure they have their strategies in check and know what to do and when to get it done. This could be a fairly short race if it goes decent.
We're hoping to get out of here early tonight, but you know, stranger things have happened at Phoenix. It could either be an absolute caution fest with these guys running into each other, or we could go green all the way. And I know a lot of these guys would actually love to see green flag racing.
Not only them, but us here in the booth and everybody out there as well. It's coming down to the end of it, and I'm sure that all these guys want a fair chance at the championship and not have to worry about wrecked race cars and missed opportunities when it comes down to title time.
So just a quick update that happened last week while the broadcast was not available. Of course, you know, you take the camera away from these guys and drama ensues. Steve Rosner has been suspended for this week after his actions that happened at Texas Motor Speedway. He was basically, he took out a couple people under caution, and they're not going to allow that here for the ETV Live Team Series. We don't like drama, so he is going to be sitting at the race shop this week.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate blow for Steve Rosner. Obviously, the tempers got the best of him, and he will be watching this one from the broadcast. It doesn't really affect his team too much. They're sitting 133 points out in 5th place right now, so a championship for that stable is a long shot, if at all still possible. So not that big of a hurt for the team, but obviously Steve definitely wants to be out there and wants to be racing, but sometimes it's the emotions get the best of you, and if you can't do the time, then don't do the crime.
That's definitely for sure. Basically, so with the championship for respects, I think it's the Super Speedway Cup Series, and it's either Asphalt Assault or Full Throttle Cup Series are the only two teams really mathematically left in it for the last 2 weeks. But with that being said, we're now going to send it down trackside for the national anthem with the Cactus Cuties.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome back here to Phoenix International Raceway. We're going to send it down trackside for tonight's most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen,
Starting on the pole in the number 10 machine, that's John Abbott, and to his outside is Dwayne Vincent.
Row number 2 on the inside is the number 11 machine of C.J. Lavere with Jonathan Medled's number 4 matching his car number. He rolls off in P4.
Starting in row number 3, Bobby Terrell, the number 5 machine, and to his outside is Jose Gonzalez.
Andrew Berger's number 30 machine is going to roll off tonight, 7th place, the inside of row number 4, with Dakota Ehrman in the number 13 in 8th place.
Row number 5, rolling off in the 9th position is going to be Larry Mulliken, and then to his outside, Glenn Hedrick.
Joshua Harbison's number 14 machine is going to roll off in the 11th spot inside of row 6, and to his outside in the number 7 is Guy Snyder the 4th.
And these guys did not have time posted for today. Either they wrecked it in qualifying, or they just didn't decide to take time. Rolling off row number 7 is going to be in row number 7 in the 13th position, Brennan Traberco, and to his outside, Rod Flagg.
Steve Speece's number 26 machine is going to roll off here in 15th, and to his outside in the 33 is going to be David Lanza.
And starting shotgun on the field is going to be the number 25 machine of Sean W. Brown. He'll be in row number 9.
Relatively small field from what we've seen in the past before, and looking through the grid right now, I'm only seeing 2 of those white Halls on Post cars, and they're sitting right now 3rd place in points, and only having 2 guys, they are going to need an extraordinarily excellent night to get some points to be able to compete for that championship still.
It's definitely going to be difficult for them now after the fact that they only have 2 cars, like you said. So even if these guys finish 1, 2, and the next team that finishes 3, 4, and 5 are ahead of them in the point standings, well, they still don't make up ground. So it's definitely going to be a difficult day for Halls on Post. It'll be an uphill battle all the way.
Indeed it will, but they could have some strength. You know, we've seen them pretty good at the short tracks. This track acts like a short track. It's a mile long, but it's got that short track feel to it. So we'll see how they do as the field works through turn number 4. Right now, the pace car ducks down onto pit road. Pole sitter going to get a great jump, John Abbott. We are a green flag at Phoenix.
As John Abbott's going to barrel it down into 1, you're going to see the outside battle for the 2nd position of C.J. LeVere and Dwayne Vincent. Nothing doing there. Dwayne Vincent's going to let C.J. LeVere go. But behind him, you've got the number 4th machine of Jonathan Medellin. He just went around the outside of Bobby Terrell. Bobby Terrell gave way as here comes Dakota Ehrman trying to work around the outside of the number 5 machine of Bobby Terrell.
Can't quite do that. He's going to fall back in line. John Abbott's going to lead lap number 1, and just behind them a side-by-side battle ensuing for the, looks like the 7th position with Jose Gonzalez and Guy Snyder the 4th. They are starting to figure that battle out and now going single file throughout the majority of the field.
As actually Jose Gonzalez and I can't remember the other guy that he was racing on the inside there, but they came, Jose Gonzalez got loose on the outside, went up, tagged the wall, and then Rod Flagg went around trying to avoid him. So tough break for those 2. But up front, still the same story. John Abbott leading lap number 3, or not number 2. And so far, the whole field has strung themselves out into a single file line. So we might be getting ready to settle into a long green flag run, hopefully.
Indeed, we could. It's very quick for these guys to single file out. They know that there's a lot of implications on the line tonight. You definitely can't win the championship in the second to last race, but you can lose it, and those teams who know that they are in the hunt, they kind of want to play it safe for right now, and they'll save their best tricks for later on, and they know that they have to get there in order to use those tricks.
Yes, it's definitely going to be a difficult night. You know, as much as we hate saying this, they're looking to have a good points day. They're not looking to put themselves into harm's way where, oh, I'm going to get taken out because I stuck my nose in here, or other stuff like that. As we're hearing, Rod Flagg is coming down pit road. I think he's going to fix some damage from that earlier contact with Jose Gonzalez.
Yeah, indeed he could, Kyle. It looks like he's got some rear-end damage to that number 32 machine. Still early in the race, so depending on how much damage he does have, hopefully he can get it fixed and still be able to get some lucky dogs off of some yellow flags and be able to put himself back into contention for this one. Might hurt his team just a little bit. They are currently the points leaders, and having 1 bullet out of the barrel early is definitely going to affect that team's run for the rest of the night.
And that's definitely, without a doubt, that's exactly what's going to happen. You want to, I guess, you don't want to lose any bullets, but if you do happen to lose a bullet, you don't want it to be in like the first 2 laps of the race. You kind of want that to be in the last 10 laps of the race.
Yeah, indeed. It's either way, it's going to be a struggle for these guys. He's already lost 1, possibly 2 laps by now. So he's going to need quite the turnaround and quite some assistance to be able to get those laps back and still be able to help his team with the points battle. I mean, only the top 3 for the team count, but I'm not too sure if the entire team is here or not. But that's still kind of hurts them having one guy down.
Actually, I think Super Speedway Cup Series, they've got Andrew Berger, Brandon Scherberko, and Rod Fleck. So unfortunately, they only have 3 guys here tonight. So tough break for the Super Speedway Cup Series guys for leading the points. They're only right now, as it looks like, if this goes green, Rod Fleck is going to finish in the 17th position. So that's going to be that's going to hurt their points.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely going to hurt the team tremendously, and I'm sure that some of these guys who are sitting behind them right now, they are well aware of this and might light the flame under their rear a little bit to get up at it and try to move their way up to the front and see how many points that they can get and make some progress on that Super Speedway Cup team. The top 3 guys right now running about half a second apart. The 2 Full Throttle Cup team drivers of John Abbott and CJ LeVere running 1-2. They have Dwayne Vincent's number 6 machine just behind them, and Jonathan Medlin and Bobby Terrell 4th and 5th. So kind of a mix-up in the teams. The top 5, Jonathan Medlin holding his own alone, hauls on post driver in the top 5 with Full Throttle Cup and Asphalt Assault joining him.
Yeah, as I was looking a bit for the battle for 7th position, a little bit further back in the pack, as Andrew Berger is starting to become under fire from Dakota Ehrman in the number 13 machine. As also we're seeing Berger go after the number 7 machine of Guy Schneider the 4th. That is for 6th position. As when we were last on air about 2 weeks ago, remember that Guy Schneider the 4th had an absolutely abysmal car. It was basically wrecking loose. It almost looked like it was Brandon Scherberko driving that car.
Yeah, indeed, and looking back at this battle right now, it's starting to get a little closer. Guy Snyder starting to pull away just a little bit. I saw Berger get a little loose in 3 and 4, so I kind of lost him some ground right there. And Ehrman now going to try and look to the inside into turn 3. Berger washes up. Ehrman got a little loose on the bottom, can't quite hang on. Looks like Berger's going to be able to clear. Not quite. Ehrman's got the run on the inside. He's going to try and make the move around for 7th place on the inside of turn number 1. Meanwhile, that's allowing Guy Snyder to pull away. They're still side by side. Berger's holding his own, nearly gets into the wall, but keeps it off.
And as you can probably tell from that horn and that dog bark, yes, we are recording from our houses. So, interesting thing going over at Kyle Young's house. But anyway, I'm surprised these guys aren't moving up into that second groove through 1 and 2. That's always been the faster way around. These guys are kind of hugging the yellow line. For a lot of them, it's really weird to see that, because like I said, from one of the series that I've ran here, is you kind of move yourself into that second groove and you don't even try to get near that yellow line.
And maybe for right now, these guys have their cars set up better to run the inside. What they've been able to figure out in this hour and a half of practice before the race, just that preference to the inside. Oh wow, I believe that was Guy Snyder in the 7 who just barely kissed the wall, if he did at all, off of turn number 4. Lost a little ground, and now Dakota Ehrman's going to come back up, and now he's a little sideways off of turn 2, so it's going to give Ehrman more of a chance to catch back up to him. But like I was saying, maybe they're set up for the inside right now, and not too comfortable with the outside, but they know that it's there, and if they need to use it, then they definitely will.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those things that throughout the night you're going to see that come into effect, as Dakota Ehrman's going to go underneath the number 7 machine of Guy Schneider the 4th. That is for 6th position. We're going to see if Schneider's going to use that outside lane. He is. He's going to be able to hold off Dakota Ehrman, as Dakota Ehrman got a little bit loose on the inside there. Well, that's what I'm talking about with that second groove. When somebody goes down to that yellow line, it could easily upset the race car, and that guy on that top line is going to easily power away from him.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a relatively flat track, but the apron is completely flat. So going from that little bit of banking down to the straight flat of the apron, that's definitely going to upset the car. And with it being such a flat racetrack, it's very easy to dip your car below that yellow line and hit that apron. So these guys, as much as they want to run the inside line, they got to be careful that they don't go too far to the inside and cause a problem for themselves.
Yeah, that definitely not be good as Dakota Ehrman's back all over the bumper of Guy Schneider the fourth. We're going to see if Dakota Ehrman's going to send it in here, which he is going to do that, as Guy Schneider the fourth is going to wash up the track. But once again, he's got that high line. Look for him to get a run. He's going to get a little bit loose, but they're going to drag race down the back straightaway here as they go into 30. Dakota Ehrman will have the preferred line, so look for Dakota Ehrman to get around Guy Schneider the fourth, as Schneider is not backing down at all. What a run, but Dakota Ehrman is going to clear him up off the corner, as a little bit further back in the pack, Sean W. Brown just got a little bit loose.
Got a little bit loose, but hung on. But I want to go back to that pass in turn 3 that I was watching in the background. Andrew Berger drove it so hard in the turn number 3. I saw the rear end of that machine kind of kicking out. He was trying to sneak underneath the 7 machine and follow Dakota Ehrman's lead, but unfortunately wasn't able to do that and actually ended up losing a spot to Larry Mulliken. So some intense racing here for the 7th through 10th positions. Got a couple guys sitting back there just kind of watching for right now and looking to pick up the pieces that fall apart, if any do.
And actually up front we have a new leader. CJ LeVere just ran around the number 10 machine of John Abbott. Those two are teammates. But now John Abbott's got to be a little bit careful that he doesn't fall back into the clutches of Dwayne Vincent and Jonathan Medellin and Bobby Terrell.
Yeah, indeed he does, and I think the two that they really have to worry about right now, for at least for who they're racing around, are those two Asphalt Assault guys. They know that the Halls on Post guys, there's only 2 of them here, and they're only 1 of them right now around where they're racing. And the other 2 teams, they have 2 drivers apiece. So as much as Medellin is trying to support the team the best that he can, unfortunately from where he's at right now, not really doing a ton compared to the competition that he has amongst him.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult when you're kind of in the mix between those teammates of everybody else and you're the only car there. But I guess the one good thing that he has going for him is it's not a super speedway race, so he's not getting hung out to dry. But anyway, now CJ LeVere is starting to extend his lead over John Abbott, so look for CJ LeVere to check out as we've just completed lap 22, working lap 23 now.
Might have been a bit of a strategy move for those 2 Full Throttle Cup teammates. Maybe John realized that CJ was just a little bit faster. You moved out of the way, let him go, and let him have the lead for a little bit. I mean, we still got a decent amount of race left. It's not really worth racing your teammates too hard in the early going. You know, we've said it time and time before tonight. It's right now. It's all about points and keeping your team in the points spots. And you know, we've got 4 teams who've got a shot, and these guys, you know, they know they have a shot and they really want to perform, but you can't perform if you're not on the track. So probably some strategy moves here for the Full Throttle team, as Levere's starting to open it up a little bit, but Abbott's starting to fall into the clutches of Dwayne Vincent just a hair.
As now we're going to take our first ETV Live commercial break. Don't go away.
Plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV Live, sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com. Team Racing Series returns to ETV Live on Tuesday nights following the Fast Track Racing Series radio show. After organizing a highly successful team series in 2010, Jerry Wolf is back with some kick butt, take no prisoners team racing action like you have never seen before. The ATV Live Team Racing Series is sponsored by HD Radio Network, live on Tuesday nights from 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't wimp out, dude. Catch the action live at etv-eplay.net.
Welcome back here to Phoenix International Raceway for the ETV Live Team Series presented by the HD Radio Network, the leader in sim broadcasting. Well, under that last commercial break, John Abbott did get passed by Dwayne Vincent, and Dwayne Vincent is absolutely on fire right now. He is catching CJ Levere almost 2/10 a lap, so Dwayne Vincent absolutely on the charge.
Indeed he is, Kyle. He knows what's behind that team and what's at stake coming in the next week, and he wants to get up there, try to move around CJ Levere and get some lap sled and see what he can do out in clean air. Those two are doing a pretty good job of pulling away from John Abbott and Jonathan Medlin and Bobby Terrell, who the three of them, they're still kind of racing together but not quite battling just yet. Still a good amount of room between the three of them. But they're still right around each other and watching these top two in front of them get just a little bit smaller in front of their mirror each lap.
Yeah, and that's always frustrating that when you look at the leaders and you're doing everything the same thing that they're doing, but they still manage to pull away. You're always wondering, what can I do differently inside the car? Like, why am I not catching them? As now Dwayne Vincent is all over the back bumper as CJ Levere, as Levere almost got into the wall up off of 2 there.
Yeah, indeed he did. He's starting to feel the pressure just a little bit from that number 6 machine and starting to slip up and make some mistakes. Maybe a bit of a mind game that Dwayne Vincent is playing on CJ Levere as now he closes just a little bit more. He's going to try and make a move to the inside at turn number 1. Here he goes. Levere gets in more than enough room and he washes up and hits the wall in turn number 1. He loses that spot. Dwayne Vincent now your leader, and he's going to lose some time on Dwayne Vincent. So a big mistake for CJ Levere. He loses the lead, and he's going to lose a little bit of time as well.
I think CJ Levere's plan was that he knew that Vincent was coming, so he was just going to move over and let Vincent go. But unfortunately, he got into the corner too hot. Car washed up a little bit more than he expected, and he went into the outside wall. But anyway, no damage, no severe damage, and Dwayne Vincent is going to pull away from CJ Levere now.
Indeed he is, and Levere, he knows he made that mistake. He knows that the car's okay, so he's going to try and regroup himself here and see if he can't get back up and make that move. Excuse me, once again. It was kind of a late pass for Dwayne Vincent, so I don't know if maybe CJ wasn't quite sure if Dwayne was going to go to the inside right away. If, he hesitated whether do I go up high to give him the room, or is he not going to try and pass? Can I run my normal line? So maybe a bit of confusion, and like I said, maybe those mind games starting to get into CJ's head a little bit and cost him a pretty costly mistake for right now.
I'll tell you what, another car that's on the charge and on the move right now is Bobby Terrell. Bobby Terrell is just hitting consistent laps right now. Last lap he hit a 28.669. This lap he hit a 28.667. But also another guy that's coming is John Abbott. He just hit a 638, so he's faster than the leaders. So look for Terrell and John Abbott to try to slowly make their way up to the front. But as it's going right now, they're just kind of nibbling away at the lead. They're not making huge leaps and bounds towards that lead.
Yeah, not quite yet. They're just making little bites out of the lead. And actually, I believe Terrell actually got around the number 4 machine of Jonathan Medlin a little while ago. So he's now up into the 4th place position. As seen out of the corner of my eye now, looks like these guys are starting to catch up to some lap traffic. Looks like the 31 machine of Glenn Hedrick is going to be their first victim, with another Super Speedway Cup driver, Brendan Shaberko, in the 29 up next. So this could play out huge if we stay green for this entire race. All 3 of the Super Speedway Cup drivers are in the bottom 3 positions. And to update you on Rod Frank's condition, he is out of the race. So there's only 3 here, so one of those paying positions is going to be a dead last position. So this could cause huge points implications as we head into Homestead for the finale next week.
Well, and talking about Asphalt Assault Series, is they've actually got 4 people here today, looking about further back in the pack for the around the 10th and 11th position. You still got David Lanza and Guy Schneider the 4th. So either right now, as it runs, you got Asphalt Assault in 1st, 4th, and 10th, and you got Asphalt Assault, or Super Speedway Cup Series 15th, 16th, and 17th, and absolutely just terrible right now. They just cannot hit this setup, as Glenn Hedrick is going to go a lap down here, and David Lanza in the 10th position is starting to close in on the 25 machine of the Cross-Up Motorsports car, Sean W. Brown.
Yeah, indeed he is, and right now David Lanza is the 3rd points-paying car for the Asphalt Assault team, so one more spot is only going to help their charge for the championship, and I'm sure that the Hulls on Post guys, they know about that too. Right now their team is ahead of the Super Speedway Cup team, so even though they only have 2 drivers, they should be able to gain some points on the Super Speedway Cup team. And as it sits right now, the entire team is a lap down. So if the caution were to fly right now, only one of them is going to get their lap back. So you'll have one driver on the lead lap, one driver out of the lead lap, and one driver out of the race. So if this stays the way it's looking right now, Kyle, we are going to have one hell of a championship battle coming into Homestead next week.
Well, right now the Super Speedway Cup team is absolutely falling apart, but Asphalt Assault's coming on strong. Bobby Terrell, when John Abbott got mixed up with the lap traffic, went around Abbott, and now he's set his sights on the number 11 machine of CJ Levere. And with Bobby Terrell just running through traffic right now, he hit a 28.810 to CJ Levere's 28.831. But it's funny, after they completed that lap, CJ Levere hit a 713, but Vincent ahead of him and pulled away by half a tenth. He hit a 644. So obviously Vincent absolutely loving the clean air, pulling away, and just basically almost not ready to put it on cruise control, but getting pretty close.
Yeah, Bobby Terrell is definitely on a tear through this field, and we've seen it before. He's been a very strong driver this season, and I'm sure that it only makes the smile on Dwayne Vincent's face wider, knowing that his teammate is running in 3rd place right now and is starting to chomp away at the bit a little bit. At CJ Levere's gap a couple laps ago, he was down by a 1.5 seconds. Looks like, no, actually no, I think he's losing a little bit of time to CJ Levere. My apologies there. He's lost a couple tenths from these last few laps. But, you know, he was moving his way through the field here, might have just got out of rhythm making those passes. So we'll see if he can get back into a rhythm and work along.
It's funny, Phoenix is definitely a rhythm track. CJ Levere just blew a corner and hit a 28.803, and Bobby Terrell just hit a 28.716. So when you lose that rhythm and you overshoot a corner, oh man, you're just going to get eaten up by the guy behind you. But other than that, we're going to take our second commercial break. When we come back, we'll take you to Green Flag Stops.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products, reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com, and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
Welcome back here to Phoenix International Raceway for the ETV Live Team Series presented by the HD Radio Network, the leader in sim broadcasting. Nothing's changed up front. You still got Dwayne Vincent in first, CJ Livera second, and Bobby Terrell in third. But looking at the way that these guys are running, CJ Livera has probably just absolutely cooked the tires on that car because he is now fallen himself off to the high 7s and 8s, while Bobby Terrell is hitting 6s still. So it's a problem because they still got about 32 laps before pit stops, and you've already burned that right rear off or you burned that right front off, so you're not going anywhere now. Now you're going backwards, and now you're just kind of hoping that you get a caution and you can survive and not lose too many positions.
Yeah, absolutely, Kyle. So far, this race has run 50 laps caution-free. These guys getting a really nice green flag run-in, and unfortunately for some of those drivers, it's not quite what they want to see right now. While we were away, though, Jonathan Medlin was able to make the move around John Abbott for the 4th place position, and taking a quick check at the points once again under that commercial break. That's going to put a little more pressure on the Full Throttle team. They are currently sitting 4th place, 62 points out, so they're kind of an outside shot heading into this race. They should be able to gain something on the Super Speedway Cup team, but you know, every point counts, and when you're out by that debatable of a margin, you want to make sure you get more than enough points to put yourself into contention heading into the final week.
I'll talk about when it rains, it pours for the Super Speedway Cup Series. Lap 48, Brandon Traburco going off into 3, got in too hard, locked him up, slid up, and he pounded the outside wall. So he's going to go even more multiple laps down as he's looking to fix damage. So Super Speedway Cup Series, they're at this rate that it's going, they're definitely going to finish 16th and 17th in this race unless a miracle happens.
Yeah, it's been a very rough night so far for the Super Speedway Cup team, and you know, not having that marginal point difference to where they can afford to have this problem, they can't. They only have 17 points over Asphalt Assault, and right now Asphalt Assault is currently running 1st and 3rd. So we might have a new points leader heading into Homestead at the end of this one here, Kyle.
It depends if David Lanza wrecks it. He's going to go up into the outside wall. That's for the 10th position. I'm not sure what he did there. I got to quickly back it up here, but it looks like he basically came off the corner too hot, or he got into the corner too hot, and it basically, yeah, he got into the corner too hot, 4-wheel drifted it basically through 1 and 2, saved it, got loose again, and he hit the outside wall. So now Guy Schneider the 4th went around the outside of Lanza. So now Guy Schneider the 4th is the 3rd playing position for Asphalt Assault right now.
Yeah, indeed he is, and maybe this long run is starting to wear away at David Lanza. You know, we've been green for 55 laps. The car's starting to fall apart just a little bit on him, and maybe the driver's getting a little worn out too, as he nearly hits the wall off at turn number 4 and looks to be under attack from Steve Spiess. Now Spiess gets really close to the rear bumper and almost makes contact, lands loose off of turn 2. Spiess going to look to the inside, heading through the dogleg, maybe makes a little contact with the left rear. He's going to try and pass him here in turn 3. Lanza caught the wall. He's sideways again. He is all sorts of sideways through turns 3 and 4, and he's going to lose that spot. Nearly makes contact with Steve Spiess. So David Lanza definitely starting to fall apart here, and he is struggling to keep that race car under control.
I think when he caught the outside wall, he bent the toe, or knocked the toe out of that car, so now it's super loose, so now he's just praying for a caution so he can get it fixed. But when you pray for a caution, you also got to hope that you're not the caution.
Yeah, and with the looks of it right now, he might. He might be the cause of the caution, as he is having a handful trying to keep that car going in the right direction. So, and you know, like you said, knocking the toe out, it's very easy to do that. You know, these the tires line up very close to the fenders, and the fenders aren't that strong when you hit the wall. So they have a lot of forgiveness, and they bend pretty easily, and they bend into those tires, and the tires meet up with the wall. So it could be some more significant damage than we can tell from up here, Kyle. But you know, under green flag, it's hard to fix that significant amount of damage. So for right now, maybe Lanza, he realizes he's not scoring points right now for the team, so maybe he can afford to get something fixed or to just kind of relax, kind of catch his breath again and try to get control of this car.
Well, Brandon Traburco is still on pit road, as Traburco is now going to leave the server, so Super Speedway Cup Series just lost the second bullet. Now they're going to finish 16th and 17th, so this is just absolutely horrible for the Super Speedway Cup Series, so definitely Asphalt Assault Series, unless something crazy happens to them, are definitely going to leave Phoenix here with the points lead heading into Homestead.
Yeah, Kyle, we're definitely going to see a change at the top of the standings here this week, as long as, well, it doesn't really matter the way that things are going for right now. Somebody is going to take over the top of the standings. It's all we know is that once we leave here tonight, it's not going to be the Super Speedway Cup team. So that team is going to have to go back to the drawing book this upcoming week and figure out where they went wrong. Two different animals this week and next week, so they can't really take too much track type things to Homestead next week to try and help them with that. But you know, if it's something that they just missed completely or something that they know is fixable, then they definitely want to make sure that they catch up on that and are able to make that change for Homestead so they can get back up on top and win this championship.
You remember when Terrell was... Oh, never mind, CJ Laverre is going to come into pit road. But what I was going to say is, you remember when Terrell was basically almost a second and a half behind CJ Laverre?
Indeed I do.
Well, when CJ Laverre pulled off into the pits there, he was only 0.6 behind him. So obviously Terrell and Vincent have got long run cars, as now the 14 machine is out, as we're going to get a caution. So that even burns CJ Laverre. He's going to have to go for the wave around now.
That is a huge, huge change of events right now, and I'm trying to look through the field. I'm not too sure what happened. Actually, now just hearing that Jose Gonzalez and the number 17 machine for the Full Throttle Cup team running into some problems. We'll get Gian up on a replay to see what happened, and looks like he might have just lost it all on his own.
Yeah, just got into the corner. Apparently, I think I did hear him say pitting, but yeah, he threw it into 3 too hard, locked up the brakes, kind of drifted it, and it finally just went around. And luckily nobody hit him, as that was actually right in front of the leaders. Dwayne Vincent went around the outside of him and barely missed him. So, man, Asphalt Assault almost didn't dodge a bullet there.
Fortunately, they were able to, and now everybody's going to come down pit road. 63, give or take, caution-free laps, just over half an hour of green flag racing. So we're right around halfway right now. Actually, I think we're just past halfway. So you know, like I said, a 1 mile track, 115 laps. If things go smoothly, which they have so far, it goes by quick, and you don't have a lot of time. This race is half over. These guys know it. They have a caution. They can take a breath, grab a drink from the crew, and re-energize themselves here for the second half, because it could go by just as quickly as the first. And speaking of first, Dwayne Vincent wins the race off of pit road with teammate Bobby Terrell just behind him.
Well, an update to you on CJ Laverre. CJ Laverre got out of pit road before Vincent got around him. So CJ Laverre, after that pit strategy, is going to go from the third position, as I think he actually, never mind, he is going to come down pit road right now. So obviously he didn't make his stop because he did not want to go a lap down. So CJ Laverre is going to go to the back of the pack, which puts Asphalt Assault 1 and 2, as now Dakota Ehrman is going to get the ETV Live Lucky Dog. So he's going to be back on the lead lap, and Glenn Hedrick, the Super Speedway Cup Series, is still going to be stuck a lap down. So tough break for Super Speedway Cup Series, but that's kind of how it's been tonight for them.
Yeah, this not the way that the Super Speedway Cup team would like to spend their night here in Phoenix, Arizona. As well as this yellow definitely hurt that Full Throttle team. They had a guy now having to go to the back for a pit sequence mix-up, and Jose Gonzalez, obviously, with the Full Throttle Cup team, he went around. So, you know, it's going to be tough for CJ Laverre to get back up through this field. Looks like we're going to have about 11 to 13 or so guys on the lead lap. Once we go green, he's probably going to line up right around the 10th spot. And, we talked about how important points are going to be for this Full Throttle Cup team. They're 62 points back heading into tonight. We know that they are going to gain something on the Super Speedway Cup team. How much they gain, however, is up in the air, and they need to gain as much as they can to be able to contend for the championship next week.
Well, the funny thing is you say about that, but if Asphalt Assault finishes really good and they go by the Super Speedway Cup Series and also basically pull away from them, then if Full Throttle doesn't gain anything on them, they're basically eliminated, and it'll come down to Asphalt Assault and Super Speedway Cup Series next week. But that also depends on how much points Asphalt Assault gets this weekend, because right now they're looking to get max points so they can absolutely just blow the Super Speedway Cup Series out of the water.
Yeah, indeed they are. It's definitely going to be a very interesting numbers game to play once the checkered flag falls here tonight. But the pace car is now off onto pit road. Dwayne Vincent gets off to a great restart. Green flag is back out on lap 67. We just completed lap 67, so we're now on to lap 68. Bobby Terrell was able to clear the rest of the field and drop down to the inside. John Abbott going to move into the third position and clear Jonathan Medlin, starting to get back to single file fairly quickly as the Asphalt Assault guy is going to pick up where they left off that last green flag run.
You know what we haven't done in a while, Kyle?
I'm thinking maybe you crank it up?
Yeah, it depends if Guy Schneider the fourth in the back of the pack is going to wreck it, but he's not going to do that, so we're going to crank it up desert style. Well, we're back here as now CJ LeVere is going to work around the outside of Andrew Berger. That is for the 5th position. When we almost went to crank it up, Guy Schneider the fourth got really loose out of 4, almost wrecked it on the front straightaway, but he's got it himself all the way back up. He's now in the 7th position as he's looking to go on the inside of Andrew Berger. Nothing doing there because he's just too far back. Up front, Bobby Terrell went around the outside of Dwayne Vincent. Teammates still 1 and 2, but they're trying to look see if they can pull away from John Abbott.
Yeah, Kyle, during that crank it up session there, Dwayne Vincent just got insanely loose off of turn number 2, and that opened up the door for teammate Bobby Terrell, and I thought those guys were going to spin each other off of turn 4 that time, but they were oh so close to each other. Fortunately, they were able to hang on, and right now they are still up at the top of the board. John Abbott, though, he's still hanging tough, trying to keep with his number 6 machine, and actually might be able to look and try to make a pass on him here in these next 2 or 3 laps.
I don't think Vincent's going to look to make a pass around Bobby Terrell, because he doesn't want John Abbott to go around the inside of Terrell also, and also split up them from finishing 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking back just a little ways, CJ LeVere has very, very surprised me off that last run. He's running in 5th place right now. So we kind of got the Asphalt Assault and Full Throttle team back up to what things were. And looking in the 4th place, Jonathan Medley hauls on post driver right there. So we're starting to get our common top 5 back from what we had in that first green flag run, with Andrew Bergen, the number 30 machine, starting to poke his nose in there.
That is actually a Super Speedway Cup Series car, so actually that is one good thing that they have going for them today is Andrew Berger, as he's going to make slight contact with the outside of the wall coming at it too. Basically, that's the last bullet in the barrel. If Andrew Berger gets taken out and they end up finishing basically 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th, oh, that's going to be an awful point day for them. But right now, as it stands, they have a guy in 6th, but still, Glenn Hedrick and Brendan Traburko 15th and 16th, so still not a good points day for them.
Yeah, I mean, just to even sort of kind of say the Super Speedway Cup night is going to be a win for Andrew Berger, but that's not going to do much considering that the other 2 drivers for your points total are going to be 15th and 16th. One definitely going to be in 16th. The other one, you know, if Glenn can turn things around here and maybe make some passes, he's got 2 other drivers a lap down. So the highest he can get up to right now is 13th place, and you know, he's trying to get up to Joshua Harbison because he wants that lucky dog in case the yellow does come out. But right now we're looking at about 37 laps to go, so he's got to make those moves quick if anything's going to happen at all.
And that's without a doubt. But we're going to take our final commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go right to the end of the race.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR race. Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Welcome back here to the Phoenix International Raceway for the ETV Live Team Series presented by the HD Radio Arc Network, the leader in sim broadcasting. Apparently I've said that too many times, so I'm like getting tongue twisted. But anyway, a little bit further back in the pack, battle for fifth position going on right now between the 30 machine of Andrew Berger and the number 11 machine of CJ LeVere. Also, under that last commercial break, John Abbott did get around the number 6 machine of Dwayne Vincent.
Indeed, he did, Kyle, and that is huge to separate those Asphalt Assault team guys. I don't know if CJ LeVere can move up a couple positions and try to help his teammate John Abbott, but if not, at least John Abbott being there is going to hurt some points that Asphalt Assault could have gotten. And like we had said before, Full Throttle trying to fight for each and every spot that they can possibly get for points. So it's just I honestly can't wait until this race is over to see where we're going to be heading into Homestead. I just, between these 4 teams, it is going to be absolutely nuts heading into Homestead next week.
It's definitely going to be crazy here for Homestead. I can't wait either, but the only problem is Abbott is that Vincent's just trying to keep that right rear on that car. So how long can Abbott hold off Vincent when his tires come in and Abbott's tires fall off because he's driving it so hard?
Yeah, that'll be a good question to see answered here soon. We're just about down to 25 laps to go now, 27 to be exact. Bobby Terrell, I believe he's starting to lose just a smidge of a lead on John Abbott. I think he gained about a tenth, and it's another half a second back to Dwayne Vincent there. So these guys getting back to what they were able to do in the first run. They kind of get spread out and run single file here. So we might see this thing go green to the end, and I think they should be able to go the rest of the way without having to make a pit stop. As speaking of pit stop, I believe that is Glenn Hedrick in the 31 who just pulled down into the pit road. Indeed it is.
Yeah, so another tough break for Super Speedway Cup Series, but like I said, that's kind of been the motto of the day for the Super Speedway Cup team. Either they wreck it 2 laps in, they mow down the wall like Traburco did about 40 laps ago, or Glenn Hedrick that just basically they completely missed the setup and they have to pit again. So tough break for them. John Abbott is coming for the lead though. He is closing the gap in on Terrell, and he's coming in a hurry. He just gained about almost 2/10 that lap. He hit a 5:15 to Terrell's 6:75. But like I said, Abbott's got to try to keep that pace up for the next 24 laps. So I don't see him keeping those tires underneath him.
I don't know, Kyle. For right now, he's starting to close up on a Bobby Terrell, and who knows, maybe those tires are in a better shape than we can tell from up here. We'll see here shortly if they really are in decent shape or not, depending on where he ends up falling into place after things get situated here. But for right now, he is slowly closing in on Bobby Terrell, and again, more points for the Full Throttle team and less for the Asphalt Assault team if Abbott can get around and hang on to the lead.
Definitely going to be interesting here as now we're coming into the closing laps. This time by, we'll have 23 to go. So, with that being said, though, Bobby Terrell is still gaining about a 10th a lap on Terrell, or Abbott's gaining about a 10th a lap on Terrell, but I think, like I said, Terrell and Vincent know how to keep the tires on these machines, so they're probably just saving it. But a little bit further back, and once again for the 5th and 6th positions, CJ LeVere is starting to fall into the clutches of Andrew Berger. And also, if those two get side by side, that's going to bring Guy Schneider the 4th in the Asphalt Assault car right up to those guys and seeing if he can make a move.
Yeah, indeed it will, Kyle, and if he can do that and pop his way into the top 5, that's going to be 3 Asphalt Assault drivers, all 3 of the scoring Asphalt Assault drivers in the top 5, so that's going to be a huge points gain for these guys. Not only to gain those 17 points to take over the lead, but maybe even to put a bit of a margin over the Super Speedway Halls on Post and Full Throttle teams. So guys definitely looking at that. He's using Andrew Berger as his best friend right now, and he is hoping and praying that he can kind of compete with CJ LeVere and hold him up just a little bit so we can have a taste at some action.
And I think that's exactly what's happening right now. Andrew Berger is slow and as steady as he can. He's chipping away at that gap between him and CJ LeVere. CJ LeVere is going to blow turn number 3, and he's going to have Andrew Berger right on his back bumper now. So the pressure, once again, getting into CJ LeVere.
You know, Kyle, I was just thinking at the top of the broadcast we had mentioned that this, oh wow, look at C.J. Livera sideways, all sorts of sideways off of turn number 2. He's able to hang up, but unfortunately he has a huge mirror full of the number 30 machine of Andrew Berger. Berger able to close on even more off of that. Wow, what a save for C.J. Livera. Now he's going to touch the apron a little bit, lose a little bit more time. Berger looking to the inside. He's going to try it in turn 1. Nope, he's going to stay behind. And as we had mentioned, Kyle, Guy Snyder closing into the rear bumper of Andrew Berger.
Well, C.J. Livera is absolutely near driving right now, trying to hold off Andrew Berger. He's basically trying to match his line for line, so when Berger gets off the corner, C.J. Livera's there, so he can't get it all the way down to get to the inside. But what that's doing is bringing the number 7 machine of Guy Schneider IV into this battle. And I guarantee you, Guy Schneider, with the way that these points are going, might actually just look to just throw it in there and see if he can get a position.
Oh, he might have thrown it in there a little too hard. He got a little loose off of turn number 2. He hangs on, loses a bit of time. And speaking of that, throwing that in there, as I was going to say before, we said this is kind of like a short track, but the speeds are a little bit up. Could we possibly see a bump and run in the entry of these turns?
Depends on how bad Andrew Berger wants those points.
I'm sure that he wants each and every single point that he can possibly get. He is the last savior for this team, and all 3 of these drivers are racing their hearts out sideways all over the place. Berger going to look to the inside and complete the pass on C.J. Livera. Guy Snyder going to try and follow up with it. Livera slides up to the top. Snyder slides up a little bit, going to try and get the run coming off the corner. Livera's still got a corner panel on the number 30 machine. Snyder loose off of turn number 4. They're side by side at the line into turn number 1. Livera with a bit of an edge on the top side as Berger touches the apron. Livera's going to clear Snyder to the rear bumper and almost makes contact. Insane racing with 16 laps to go.
As John Abbott's trying to take a peek at the lead here, he's all over the back of Bobby Terrell as that's going on in the back. When Andrew Berger clipped that apron, he basically did not get off the corner like he wanted to, and that really messed up Guy Schneider IV, who had a huge run on him, but still up front, John Abbott is just absolutely looking to take this lead away from Bobby Terrell as he's going to look to the inside now. Bobby Terrell and John Abbott going down the back straightaway into 3. Terrell is probably just going to let him go, which he's going to do, but now look to see if Terrell's going to try the crossover move, as Abbott's going to get a little bit tight/loose coming out of the corner. So obviously, John Abbott made a change during those pit stops that has just absolutely helped out his car.
Indeed, he did, Kyle, and we'll see how this will play out for these remaining 13 and a half laps. If he's able to pull away from those Asphalt Assault guys and pick up a win, put a Full Throttle Cup team driver into victory lane. We know how bad those Asphalt Assault guys want. They know that they're probably going to leave here with the points lead. They don't want anybody else to battle them for the championship next week. They want it all to themselves.
And anyway, what I just told John is in the next couple laps or next lap or 2, hopefully up on the replay, you'll see the battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th, and also 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, because we've got a bunch of action going on the track right now. And it's funny, Jonathan Medellin quietly in 4th, kind of just stuck in the middle between these 2 battles. So he's just kind of humming and hawing, just saying, don't wreck, please, and let's just finish these last 12 laps.
Yeah, indeed he is. He's hanging it tough right now. Him and Larry Mulliken currently running 4th and 8th. So even though they only got 2 of them, it might not be a bad point day for Halls on Post, and they might be able to gain just a little bit and be able to contend for this championship next week. So, you know, kind of the underdog team heading in tonight, they only had 2 drivers, but they're showing their strength. And if something happens with these top 3 guys, it's going to move Medlin into the top 3 and more points for the team. So I don't think it'll happen, because John Abbott's starting to pull away from the Asphalt Assault guys, and I highly doubt the Asphalt Assault guys are really going to race each other clean. Doesn't matter who beats who, they're going to get the same amount of points. But just a thought in the back of the mind for the number 4 car as we're coming to 10 laps to go this time by.
Well, as you were talking about that, Guy Schneider IV actually went around the outside of Andrew Berger through 1 and 2 and completed the pass in 3 and 4. So Guy Schneider IV setting his sights on C.J. Livera, seeing if he can get anything to happen. He is actually a 10th faster than C.J. Livera. So Guy Schneider IV looking to make himself into the top 10 for the Asphalt Assault Series, so they'll have 3 guys. So they're looking for this.
Caution flag is out with 9 laps to go. Problems, I believe, for the number 14 machine of Joshua Harbison. I heard him queue up over the driver radio. Looks like he's got some rear end damage, so yes, definitely a problem for the number 14 machine of Joshua Harbison. He makes some contact with the 33 of David Lanza. We'll send it up to John to put it up on the screen for you all, and we'll take a more in-depth look at what happened.
Basically, what ended up happening there is that Joshua Harbison, an off-the-helm car that has just absolutely missed the setup on this car tonight, got super tight. Lanza got the run on the bottom. Harbison went into the outside wall. Lanza got into the back bumper. Basically, shot. I don't know how to describe this, but bumped Harbison, and Harbison took off like a rocket ship and got super loose and just basically was wrecking down the front straightaway.
And that is something that those Asphalt Assault guys up at the top of the board did not want to see. And I'm sure that David Lanza knows where those guys are at. I'm sure he didn't want to do it any more than they wanted it to happen. But that's going to regroup and restack this field. We're probably going to have around, I'd say, 4 to 6 laps. This could get good. And how many times have we seen it come down to this? And how many times has it gotten good?
Well, it's going to get even better because the number 30 machine of Andrew Berger came down, and on the pit road, Guy Schneider the 4th came down to pit road. So, with probably about 5 or 6 laps to go under green, these guys are going to have fresh tires. So these guys that have got no tires, look for basically looking to. I'm losing my train of thought. It's been a long day. What am I trying to say, Kyle?
Look for them to be like the Kevin Harvick of this race towards the end here. This could get very good for those guys. And if Kevin Harvick can pass 7 people in 2 laps to come up and win a race, I don't see why Guy Snyder and Andrew Berger can't do the same thing. So this should get very, very good. And this also is in the favor for the Halls on Post guys. They're going to restart 4th and 6th. They have a shot to get both guys into the top 5 and score some pretty hefty points and make their names known heading into Homestead next week.
Yeah, that's for sure. Also, look to see. Maybe the Halls on Post drivers can have a Cinderella story here at Phoenix, kind of like David Reagan and David Gillen for Front Row Motorsports. Kind of come out of nowhere, absolutely been kind of just middle of the pack, riding around, and all of a sudden come out and win this little thing on the last lap.
Yeah, this is definitely going to get good, Kyle. The Asphalt Assault teammates of Bobby Terrell and Dwayne Vincent, they want to get in front of John Abbott. They want to get as big of a points lead as they can heading into next week, because they want it. They can say all they want. They want an easy way to get into the championship. The Halls on Post guys, they realize that they're up towards the front. They want to try and get around the Asphalt Assault guys and John Abbott to try and score some more points for them. Andrew Berger sitting back there in 7th place. He knows he needs to score pretty decent to at least get some sort of a salvage effort for his team. So he's going to try and be driving very hard. We're going to have 5 laps to go on this restart. Once we get the green flag, if we get the caution flag, it's going to end under caution. If we get the white flag, we'll get a green flag finish. Either way, this is going to get really exciting, and I hope everybody out there has strapped themselves down so that way nothing bad happens to them if something bad happens to these guys out here.
Boxing gloves are now on, but I don't think we're going to finish under green with the way that these guys in the back of the pack have fresh tires and these guys up front have no tires.
We'll see what happens here, Kyle, as the field works its way through turn number 4. The pace car getting ready to duck down on a pit road and get away from the hot, intensive action that is about to occur. John Abbott for Full Throttle Cup going to stab the gas as soon as the pace car gets out of the way. Green flag is out. We are racing once again. The Asphalt Assault guys side by side into turn number 1. Look at CJ LeVere with a dive bomb underneath the Jonathan Nedlin for the 4th position.
Further back in the pack, you got Andrew Berger and Guy Schneider the 4th, right, racing hard side by side with Jonathan Milliken. Basically, Dwayne Vincent led Bobby Terrell in there as they're going to go firing off into 3. Medellin and Mulliken are going to be stuck on the outside. Guy Schneider the 4th, all sorts of loose. He's still wheeling it. He's still wheeling it. He's still wheeling it. What a save by Guy Schneider the 4th. He's going to hang on as Dakota Erman's going to go around. No caution out so far. Guy Schneider the 4th still looking as Andrew Berger's going to get loose, as now the caution play is going to come out.
Ehrman spun around off of turn number 4, and I'm not quite sure what happened there. He continued to back his car down the back straightaway, and when somebody came by, the yellow flag came out. So that's going to do it for this one. That's a shame. I was looking forward to seeing what was going to happen. Dakota just let the car drift backwards until the yellow came out.
I think what Dakota was doing, and not defending him at all, but I think what he was trying to do was trying to keep the car rolling so there wasn't going to be a caution.
Either way, it's going to be a victory for John Abbott in the number 10 machine. He will put the full throttle colors into victory lane. Bobby Terrell and Dwayne Vince is going to come up just a little bit short, second and third. Still some pretty good points for those guys. They're going to get second, third, and looks like Guy Snyder is going to finish 8th. So not as high as Guy probably would have liked to finish, but a pretty decent points day. They're probably going to leave with the team win, and they're definitely going to leave here with a points lead. So it's going to get really, really good to actually, you know what? Now that I think of it, it might come close for the race win, because we have 2 full throttle guys in the top 4, 2 asphalt assault guys in the top 4. And then Guy Snyder is 8th, and I think Jose Gonzalez is going to count in 10th. So that's going to be a close one to see who's going to actually win the event.
I still think the Asphalt Assault Series will win it because they're 2nd, 3rd, and 8th, and Full Throttle are 1st, 4th, and 10th. So too much of a big split between the first 4 guys, or first 2 guys for 1st and 4th, unlike Asphalt Assault that are 2nd and 3rd. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Asphalt Assault came out with a victory, which means they will most likely come out with a points lead heading into Homestead.
Indeed, and a shout out to the Halls on Post drivers coming home in 5th and 7th. A pretty significant points day for those guys. Nothing to be too ashamed about. They, I know for a fact that they definitely chopped away at that. I believe they came in 37 points out. So they definitely chopped away at that, and they're going to have a more realistic chance at this championship heading into next week. So it's going to get good, for sure. We're probably going to have 4 teams out of the 7 originally started who mathematically head into next week's race with a chance to pick up the championship. And I don't know about you, Kyle, but can we get these guys shipped down to Homestead by like Thursday? I don't want to wait another week. I want to see this thing end now.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to wait another week. I definitely want to get this going. Can we start tomorrow? Is there any way that we can start tomorrow? Because I would love to start tomorrow.
That would be amazing if we'd be able to do that, but I think the drivers would want that bit of time to go over things and finalize things. But the checkered flag is out in the air. It is going to be John Abbott to pick up the driver victory, and we believe it may be Asphalt Assault with a team victory. Not 100% sure on that quite yet, just an estimated guess. But John Abbott, definitely excited inside of that number 10 machine. He is going to come around here to celebrate that victory, and we will talk with him. We will talk with Bobby Terrell, and we will also talk with Jonathan Medlin on how their nights went tonight. So make sure you come on back here in a few moments for some driver interviews, and we will set up the championship implications heading into next week's race. Don't go anywhere.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Homestead, I'm so excited for the season finale, I'm already calling it Homestead. Phoenix International Raceway here, as we have just finished things up. John Abbott picking up tonight's win for the drivers, and we are here to talk with him and a couple other drivers. But to start some things out, we're going to shift it down to Kyle Peddle, who is, I believe he has caught up with Jonathan Medlin, 5th place finisher, and Halls on Post top finisher.
As I'm down here with Jonathan Medlin for the Halls on Post team. Jonathan, you had a quiet day, just kind of running around in the middle of the pack, still was inside the top 5, but definitely got dicey at the end of the race there.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, at the beginning of the race, I was just riding around. I was really expecting more than 2 cautions. That was a great race for everybody. But I tell you what, them two sets of teammates, they were fast.
Yeah, when basically when Dakota Ehrman spun around down the front straightaway there, and then basically was going in reverse, and the caution came out. I know you were sitting in the middle between 2 battles, the battle for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and the battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Were you just kind of hoping that it was just going to go green to the end, so you just kind of just rode it out?
I was hoping we could make it through turn 1, and luckily we did. And me and CJ raced pretty hard there for about half a lap, and I'm not sure what brought out the final caution, but yeah, it was wild.
Well, you got a lot of stickers on the side of that Halls on Post machine. Tell us who makes it happen for you.
Yeah, Halls on Post, great tax company. I'd like to thank all my teammates. Really want to give a special shout out to one of our teammates, Billy Weeks. He couldn't be here with us tonight, had some family issues back home. If he'd have been here, maybe we could have gave him a run for the money for the team.
It was Jonathan Medlin, the highest finisher for his team, as we're going to send it down to the other end of pit road. I think Kyle Young has finished, caught up with the 2nd place finisher, Bobby Terrell.
Indeed I have, Kyle. Thank you very much. Bobby Terrell, the number 5 machine for the Asphalt Assault team. The top finisher for his team, just being able to beat Dwayne Vincent, who the two of them had a great battle all night long. He was able to come out on top, but unfortunately, it wasn't going to be one of you two to visit victory lane tonight. Talk about your race and how it went.
Oh, the race went great. I mean, I just kind of took my time, and I had the first run. My car was really good, or it wasn't loose. It was pretty neutral, and it handled real well. And I was catching guys, and but then that second run, it went away. It just got too loose for me, and I couldn't hang on to it. It was, John had the car to beat there at the end.
We saw a ton of green flag racing here tonight. Maybe a little bit more green flag racing than some of these guys had anticipated. Were you guys kind of prepared for that, or were you thinking more of short runs, but were able to pick up on the long runs?
I was hoping for a long run. I mean, I figured we would have a long run. I really did. And that's what I was counting on, and it worked out, because I started 5th, and then I kind of worked my way up and to the end there. But led some laps, and like I said, but John had the car to beat. I'm kind of upset at John. He didn't share his setup there at the end.
It was a very entertaining race for us to watch up here, and I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of smiles amongst your team this week with the problems that the Super Speedway Cup team has had tonight. It's probably going to put your Asphalt Assault team up on the top of the podium for the point standings heading into next week's finale. What do you guys have to make sure you focus on this upcoming week and be able to do out on that track next week to make sure that you bring that big trophy home to the Asphalt Assault shop?
We just gotta. I mean, we've been working together real well as a team, and I think we'll continue to do that at Homestead. And will bring us a good setup, and we'll see what we got for them.
Well, we definitely wish you the best of luck in that quest for the championship, Bobby. You got a lot of beautiful-looking stickers on this race car. Team Series, you can't do it alone. Who do you got to thank?
I've got to thank my teammates mostly. You guys up there, Real Sim Racing, and like I said, my teammates. Dwayne brought a good setup tonight, and David tweaked on it some, and it was good.
Bobby Terrell, the number 5 machine for Asphalt Assault, comes home in second place. Could possibly leave here with the team win. Most likely going to leave here with a points lead heading into Homestead next week. And Kyle, it's your turn to get a little soaked in victory lane. I see you down there, and things are starting to fly. So take it away down there from victory lane.
It's definitely been a while since I've been down here in Victory Lane, but anyway, as John Abbott's climbing out of his Full Throttle Cup Series car, John, basically the first half of the race was kind of tale of two tapes. First one, you led a little bit, and then all of a sudden you fell into the clutches of Dwayne Vincent. He ran around you, and then the second stint, you came on strong, and you got around Bobby Terrell, and you didn't look back after that.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. It's my first win in the broadcast series, and very excited. Yeah, I got a little tight there through the run, especially in 1 and 2, and of course my teammates Dwayne and Bobby, they're real good on the long runs. They know how to save their stuff. So and then Larry there, I'm sorry, Jonathan as well had a good long green flag run. So I made a few adjustments on that pit stop to free it up a little bit, and it seemed to work out.
When Dakota spun down the or the front straightaway there and that caution came out, what went through your head there with 5 laps to go?
I don't think I can say it on the radio, but anyway, yeah, I was just automatically trying to figure out, if I was going to pit or not. And I want to thank my teammates. We made a decision to all stay out, and if it wasn't a team series, I easily Mike could have been left out there by myself. Y'all know how that goes. Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult when it comes down to those strategies, though. But basically, kind of have a little bit of an update for you. You came into this race 62 points behind the Super Speedway Cup Series, and now you guys are going off to Homestead, 49 points behind Asphalt Assault. What do you guys think that you need to do next week besides obviously finish 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, just continue doing what we're doing. I want to thank my teammates. They started with a baseline setup, and then we all kind of tweaked here and there, and I definitely want to thank them. I mean, we're just working together, both of our Real Sim Racing teams, Asphalt Assault and Full Throttle. And that's our goal. We want to finish 1, 2. So I hope we can do that, going into Homestead.
Anyway, you got a lot of stickers on the side of that Full Throttle Cup Series car. Tell us who makes it happen for you.
First and foremost, being a fellow admin, I want to thank Jerry and Dakota and the rest of the ETV crew for what y'all do. This is really a good series. It's I've just had a ton of fun. I know there's been a lot of work to go behind it, so that's the main thing. HD Radio Network, ETV, over on the Real Sim Racing side, I'd like iLeagueRace.com, Hippie's Paint Shop, Inside Sim Racing TV, Disabled Racers. I want to thank all of them.
Well, we'll see you next week in Homestead for the championship race. But anyway, Kyle, like I said, we focus next week. Final race of the season, week 12, Homestead.
Yeah, indeed we do, Kyle. It's crazy to think that we're already setting up for the final race of the season, and it almost seems like it hasn't been 12 weeks. It's been I know, at least on my part, it's been very entertaining to watch this up here from the booth, and I know it's only going to get better once we set these guys loose at Homestead next week for the championship. It looks like that we already do have our points updated, and Asphalt Assault indeed took over the lead. They ended up gaining about 32 points, I think, and they now have a 15-point lead over the Super Speedway Cup team. Full Throttle sending 49 points out, and unfortunately, I think it's a bit of a long shot for the Halls on Post guys to come out with the championship win next week. They're 75 points out in 4th place, so it still might be a long shot for the Full Throttle guys, but definitely going to be at least a 2-team battle coming down to the end. And at least after tonight, they are going to have a lot to look over next week in the Super Speedway Cup shop, and they need to get their guns together and be able to see what they can do to take down the Asphalt Assault team, because they have been strong week in and week out, and I have a feeling that they know that they're on top. It's not going to get any different, if any harder, to knock them down next week.
It's definitely going to be tough to knock down that Asphalt Assault series. They've been seeming like week in and week out, they're firing on all cylinders. But anyway, with that being said, we'll see you guys in Homestead. It's going to be unfortunate that it's going to be the end for the ETV Live Team Series for this season. Next season, they'll be moving to Sunday nights with the trucks. And yes, it was confirmed that there will be a road course, so stay tuned for that one. But anyway, for myself, Kyle Peddle, Kyle Young, John and JD pressing the buttons up in the booth, Jerry and Dakota Ehrman for the admin of this series, for all of us here at ETV Live, good night.